broadcaster. The other one had in the Hollywood crowd eventually. But we even wrote one of our own plays, and I belonged to the little theater group, and I took tap dancing lessons when I was about 4th or 5th grade. I danced in blackface, in Showboat, in the theater, many other things of that nature. One of my dancing companions, he became a very well-known doctor and researcher, and later on in his life. I also I did ballroom dancing in a performance of like an operetta, and with all of the costumes and everything, that type of thing. I was never a team sports person. I was a track and field. That's what I did, was track and field. But at that time, and this would make me shudder today, I always had a great fondness for firearms. My father taught us how to use a .22 when I was 5 years old. And I was filling the pot at home along with my brothers long before I was 10 years old, with game and so on. And at the high school, we had a rifle range in the basement, and on the .22 small bore. And I ended up captaining the junior and the senior championship small bore team. I also belonged to the local gun club at that time and shot in competition against the mounted police and the city police and the military. And also used to go to the turkey shoots till they banned me from them. They wouldn't let me shoot anymore. Too many turkeys. And anyway, so I always had a keen interest in guns. I was a skier. I loved to ski. And to go skiing, we had to go 4 miles to the ski clubhouse. And we skied over and skied back, and we skied while we were there. I entered in what you'd call state cross-country races. Did some downhill in Salem, tried ski jumping, didn't do too well at that. And I got a few injuries skiing. I got a couple of broken ribs and a dislocated right knee, but other than that, it was fun. And there were many opportunities we didn't date like they do today. We mass dated, if you want to call it that. We'd say, oh, we'll meet you at the theater. And 2 or 3 of us, and then 2 or 3 girls would meet you at the theater. You pay your own way in, we pay our own way in. And we used to have a Victrola club, they called it, where somebody had a record player, and we'd have a big band of records, and we'd go, it would be our turn this week, and everybody come to your house, you provide the refreshments and music, and there was always parental control there, and we just had a wonderful time. We actually had a wonderful time doing that. Anyway, moving along until the war was on. My oldest brother in 1939 was not accepted because of medically unacceptable. And then in 1940, my second eldest brother entered into the Air Force, and that became a lifelong career for him in the Air Force. He was a pilot. He went all through World War II and the Korean War. A much decorated pilot, I might say. Entered into the history of aviation in Canada several times. Received the highest award that a civilian can receive from the Queen of England, this sort of thing. And then my next brother went into the Navy, 17. He went into the Navy, and he served all over the Pacific, North Atlantic, served with the 3 Canadian ships that were at Okinawa, and a long career. And having seen them go, then I thought, well, it's time for me to go. I'm 16 years old, and it's time to go. I had been in a cadet organization at 13. Pictures to prove that one. And then I was in 2 subsequent, I was 11 when I went in there, pardon me. I was also a Boy Scout leader. Not a leader, but a patrol leader. Loved the Boy Scouts. Then I was in 2 reserve, an infantry unit, and then when they were mobilized and went overseas, I was in an artillery unit. They were mobilized and went overseas. I joined what you'd call like the National Guard, and then they mobilized to go overseas, and I tried getting in with them and I failed. So I got my birth certificate and I altered it, and I went and applied to the Air Force, and I wanted to be in the Air Force. I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and they just laughed at me and threw me out. So I went to a city 100 miles